Hello, this is Vaishali and reading from the book Spirit of Homeopathy, book written by Dr. Rajan Sankaran. Mind section, chapter number 30, Application of Repertory, part 4. One of the best stemmonium case I show was of my man in the London. He showed me the poem he had written after he had got better with the stemmonium. The theme of this poem was about going to an allopath, a neurologist. The poem was something like this. He poked me here and there, looked at me and told something to his student. He gave me no hope, means slender disposition too. Then I went to homeopathy, with which I could see light and joy, and I show myself coming to life. The poem shows a beautiful expression picture of the stemmonium. People can get you when it is dark and you are helpless. At this time, you react with the violence or clinging. I had a case of a child with a fever who was holding her ear all the time. The rubric was clinging. Stemmonium wants to be held. Some part of his body has to be held. So they hold something or hold themselves. I had a case of man who dreamed of eating glasses. He knew it was glass because of the crunch sound it made in his mouth. He spat it out and found that it was really glass, and he would have eaten it if it had not made the crunching sound. I took the rubric painlessness of complaint, usually painful. One of the my colleague Dr. Jayesh patients, a lady said, "Doctor, I will tell you frankly, I have no problem, no fear, no anger, no hatred, no jealousy, nothing hurts me." Means I took the rubric indifference, complaints does not. Indifference, suffering too. Clinging, delusion God, communication with, he is in. They believe they have contact with you. Who will protect them from this terrifying world. If separated even for a minute, they feel abandoned like a child in the wilderness. In this way, stemmonium can apply to the addiction in the wider sense, not only to drug addict but to people who need something all the time to cling to. For example, the follower of the groups, religious or scientific, etc., who always need the group master or guru. If that is taken away, they cling to the next things. Associated with this is the rubric religious affection. Bible wants to read all the day. It is mentioned in the synthetic repertory. The Bible signifies any authoritative books. Reading the Bible the whole day would mean that the person needs a book of authority in which he trusts and constantly clings to in order to avoid the uncertainty and darkness he feels around him. The rubric can be used even in scientific who clings to one particular authority all the time. For example, sometimes we come across the homeopath who keeps quoting from Hahnemann's organon as if it were scripture. He is so obsessed with it that he has several copies. He carried it with wherever he goes and must read it every single day. Other homeopaths are keep Allen Skinnots like these, and still other read the repertory every day as if it were the Bible. Similar example can be found in other disciples. The need for an authority and constant referral to it, whether it be a book, person, dogma, reflect the person's inner uncertainty and insecurity. This is the deeper meaning of the rubric, wants to read the Bible all the day. Incidentally, the Bible begins with the darkness, and this is followed by those famous words. The Lord said, "Let there be a light," and there was a light, the typical word for the stemmonium. As an interesting sidelight, one Jayesh had a case of a child with a dog bite. It was a pet dog of a friend. Whenever a new person approached the dog, it became furious and beat the person. So he prescribed the stemmonium to the dog. Fear of approach of the stranger is another marked feature of stemmonium. There is also rubric delusion animal person are rat, mice, insects, etc. This is the only place where it given very clearly, otherwise it appears as a delusion sees dog, the swarm about him. This means whatever is swarming about him are dogs. This is how we should interrupt. For example, how we should interpret. For example, if you see delusion faces sees diabolical, it means delusion that the face he see are diabolical. The idea of this is not only to highlight the stamonium picture, but more importantly to show the way we can imaginative expand the rubrics. How imaginatively we expand the rubrics. Delusion that wife is faithless. This is the another rubric which can have a wide variety of expression. For example, when the patient say, "Doctor, please come back soon. Don't abandon us and settle down in a foreign country." This is the delusion that wife is faithless. Wife means the partner whom one trusts, and this trustful relation is the secure basis of one's life. Such a person may become untrustworthy, may break the contract, go away with someone else, leaving this person insecure, abandoned in the dark, not knowing what to do, helpless feeling. This can happen in the trustworthy relationship he has with anyone. What most Guru's disciples have felt when he abruptly shifted from place to place. To expand the meaning of this rubric in this way is fascinating. What the prover has expressed is the direct experience, but we have to understand what the experience means in terms of varied life situation. The prover gave one expression, but what is the feeling behind this expression, and how can we see in the clinic? By using our imaginations and looking at the rubric in this new light, we'll then be able to apply them in a wider context. For this, all we require is the dictionary to understand the exact meaning of the words in the rubric, imagination, careful observation of our patient. I want to describe the only stamonium experience. I had a child when with a fever. I had this feeling that there was a cotton ball which was slowly expand and getting huge, occupying all space in the room, and the room was getting too narrow for it. The ball was rolling and I was helpless stuck to it. I was striking loudly with a fear, calling for help. I was helped by stamonium. This dream I like because it illustrates the way a stamonium person look at his problem. He sees the problem and his fear, and he sees it getting bigger and bigger so that it can be suffocate him, destroy him, and all he can do is to helplessly watch. There is always desire for black in stamonium along with the aversion to black. I have observed most stamonium people wear black clothes, just like many stamonium people like dogs very much. It is like making a friends with the things that threaten you. It is like a woman who has fear of snake and who keep a boa constrictor as a pet. One more rubric of stamonium is insanity drunkard in. This rubric can also be used in the broader sense. A drunkard is a person who is under the influence of alcohol and at the same time become excited, exalted, and loses his reserve. A stamonium person will talk in an uncompensated way, almost as if he is drunk. When there is a further stage, he can lose his reason. In addition to this, he also behave like one mad. So, insanity drunkard in can be used in the person who is not drunk or insane, but who behave like one who is drunk and insane.